We might be witnessing the rise of the next GOAT. Let's talk about it. When we think GOAT, we think of maybe a few players. Obviously, Michael Jordan comes to mind, LeBron James as well, maybe other players like Tim Duncan, and the list could go on. But today we will think about Michael Jordan. When I think of Jordan, I think of a very complete scorer, a tenacious defender, a very confident personality, if that's what we want to call it, and a player who's very confident in his abilities on the floor. He's an aggressive slasher, and we could keep going on for days. There's so many ways to describe Jordan. But most of all, when we think of MJ, we think GOAT, greatest of all time. Now, all those words I just used to describe Jordan, we can use, or very soon will be able to use, to describe the player we will be talking about today. Now, I might sound crazy comparing 6-time NBA champion Michael Jordan and the GOAT to some 22-year-old Minnesota Timberwolves shooting guard, Anthony Edwards. But first, I want you to hear me out, and then you can tell me if I'm crazy or not. Obviously, I'm not saying MJ and Ant are the same player, but Jordan is a great reference as for the ceiling of Anthony Edwards as a player. If we compare some of their first few seasons, we see some similarities. Anthony Edwards, in year 3, at 21 years old, averaged 24.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.7 blocks. And if we compare that to Jordan's year 1 stats, at 21 years old as well, he averaged 28 points, 6.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.4 steals, and 0.8 blocks. Now, obviously, these stats aren't exactly the same, and definitely doesn't mean Anthony Edwards is the next GOAT. But if we look at their year 3 playoff stats, Anthony Edwards averaged 32 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, almost 2 steals, and 2 blocks a game at 21 years old against the eventual champions. And compare that to Jordan's year 3 playoff stats. He averaged 36 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks at 23 years old. These playoff stats are a little bit closer. Obviously, Jordan scored some more points, but the big takeaway I want to grasp at is their ability to impact the floor in more than one way. Obviously, shooting guards are meant to be buckets, which both these players are. However, they both can grab rebounds, they both can dish out a few assists per game, as well as they both impact the floor on the defensive end. 2 steals and 2 blocks each in their playoff games is very well. Very defensive-minded players. Also, Anthony Edwards is currently competing with Team USA in the 2023 FIBA World Cup, and it's very common that players have a breakout season or career year after playing for Team USA. I believe this is because they get to work under multiple NBA level coaches where they can each give them something to work on or learn, as well as they get a few perspectives on their game. They also get to train and practice with the best players in the country. This leads them to push each other, especially if a player wants to be the best on Team USA. And I definitely think Edwards wants to be that. And considering all this, looking at the potential growth Anthony Edwards can achieve as long as the Timberwolves can keep a solid squad around Ant, he can develop into one of the best shooting guards ever. He has the confidence, which is very important in basketball. He has the athletic ability, which helps him both offensively and defensively. He has the offensive ability, a very deep bag, a very complete scorer, as well as the tools to be an elite level defender. He's not quite there yet, but he's shown improvement on the defensive end in his awareness as well as his effort. If he can master all these things, which I believe he can, given how he constantly improves each season, if we compare his year 1 stats to year 3 stats, he's improved in his playmaking ability, his shot selection, his defensive awareness, and he's more comfortable in the league as a player. And this shows up very well if you watch the games, as well as it shows up in the box score. For example, in year 1, he averaged 19 points and 2.9 assists. That's the part I want to highlight. If we compare that to year 3, he averaged almost 25 points and 4.4 assists. The assist numbers went up. The turnovers did go up a tiny bit as well as his minutes per game and his usage rate. But the key takeaway is his improved ability as a playmaker while on the floor. We've seen him try and make strides to be a better playmaker as well as a team player, as opposed to just a scorer first. He's talked about it in interviews where he wants to get his teammates involved as well, rather than just him involved. And he finds ways to do that by looking for his good shots in his spots, which improved his shot selection, as well as trying to find his teammates in their spots. And if we also look at his effective field goal percentage from year 1, about 48%, 49%. Compare that to year 3, it's 52.8, it's almost 53%, which is about a 5% increase. His overall efficiency improved on his twos, his three-pointers, as well as his free throws for each season. Shows that he's been putting in the work. And considering all this, his ability to improve himself, his ability to want to improve himself, as well as the tools he has as a player, this is why I believe Anthony Edwards can become one of the greatest players ever. He definitely has the potential. It's just up to him to utilize it. Anyways, that's all for today. Comment down below what you think. Am I crazy or am I not? Let me know. If you made it this far, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.